my other question is jumping back to Butler and your experience with student government. I'd like to hear more just in general about what that was like, but also for you to then hone in on your seeking to solve that rebel flag and Dixie fight song controversy.
Right.
I don't think you went into that on the recording.
So I had a very good friend, Don Hudson, who was a year ahead of me at Butler. He was the student body president the year before I was, and because we were such good friends, hung out together, sort of groomed me, for that. But it was Don, who was white, by the way, and by the way was a supporter of Governor Wallace, but was not racist, but was a supporter of Governor Wallace back in that day.
Okay.
But Don was the one who actually led the effort for us to go down and approach the school board as the at that time the present student body president and the student body president elect. So we went together to the school board to make the case that they should not be allowed to play Dixie and to fly the Confederate flags and as a result of that effort, by the time I was a senior, of course Don had moved on to college by that time, but by the time I was a senior at Butler, Confederate indicia and regalia was banned from school property, not just from Butler, but from all the other schools as well. Because the Lee Generals used to do a little bit of that, not to the degree that Butler did, but they did a little bit of that. And the other thing was our football games were played at Milton Frank Stadium, and some of them at Goldsmith Shipman Stadium. Like a lot of times the Thursday night games would be at Goldsmith Shipman or something like that. But so Confederate indicia and regalia was banned from all of those places. And I think a lot of it had to do with our efforts. Not to say that it never would have happened, but it wouldn't have happened that soon if it hadn't been for the efforts, my efforts with Don Hudson.
I agree. Do you think that in the aftermath of that, I know you weren't there very much longer,
Right.
Did it ease racial tensions in the school to get rid of those symbols? Did it solve the riot problems? Or
Well, it definitely eased racial tensions because a lot of the riots were there weren't a lot of riots, but the ones that was because the band would start to play Dixie at the pep rally.
And it amps up the energy.
Exactly, and people would charge the band, and that's where the fights would begin. So the fact that they couldn't do that anymore, it had to make. Now, it probably pissed off a lot of the white people because they couldn't have their Confederate flags anymore or their Dixie anymore. And when I was there, and especially as a senior, I got into a lot of arguments with them, and they would try to argue that, well, we had come and we were taking away their heritage, their tradition. That was their tradition to do those things. And I would point out, but that goes back to when the school was segregated, when there were only white people here, wishing they were in the land of cotton, and so on. But I don't know if I got through to them or not, but I took every opportunity I could to make that point.